Okay, good morning everyone. Jason Lowe from Brisbane, TADHack Global 2017. This is a brand new initiative, so we haven't done this before. This is our hack within the hackathon. So we're actually going to set up a few interviews today and tomorrow as part of the event. So we've actually got QUT Foundry, support from them, and tomorrow we've got support from muru-D. So as part of the interview process, and just to kick off the morning and the series of interviews, I've actually joined here by Angela and Graham from QUT Foundry.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello to you and hello to you.
So just to kick it all off and just to understand what the community is like, Angela, Graham, what is QUT Foundry and what's it all about?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for joining with us and having this amazing TADHack here. So QUT Foundry is a recent initiative by QUT to enable more people within the university system to realize multiple potentials. So whether that's, getting a job and being an entrepreneur, or starting a business, doing a startup, innovating, and even solving social problems. So we're part of a broader ecosystem within the university that looks at doing things like that.
Yeah.
So that's in a nutshell.
So how's it, so you are sponsored or you're part of Blue Box, then what is Blue Box?
Okay, so we're sponsored by the university,
Yep.
and Blue Box also helps us. So within the university, there's Blue Box, which looks at helping researchers and developing IP by researchers and others within the university system. But they also have mentors in residence at the Foundry. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of things like Innovation Challenge, Investment, Founders Fund. We've got QUT Creative Enterprise. They are in the creative space and help nationally. So if anyone's in fashion or wearable tech and lots of different things in that creative space, they're specialised there. We've got a number of student clubs as well. So really within QUT there's a vibrant ecosystem. Yeah. So the student clubs, for example, Starters, which is about entrepreneurship led by students. Code Network, which is all about developers but connecting more broadly. We've got Enterprise, QUT Enterprise, Enactus.
So Graham,
yeah, probably.
So Graham, one of the things that we both attended the Code Network Winter Hackathon a few weeks ago. Yeah. That was a great success. A lot of coders, a lot of people, not just from QUT, Griffith, UQ, everyone was there. One of the things I was interested as part of that is the broader community aspect outside of QUT and what that community looks like.
Well, for example, you're here now, which is pretty special to us. There's been this activity around Brisbane for about 2 years, but it's really taken off in the last 2 years. Yeah. For about 10 years, there was iLab out at UQ, and they were doing wonderful things, and they'd run a program. But there wasn't much else around. Steve Baxter then comes in with River City Labs about 5 years ago, and that's quite a novel thing, and still not too many places to go to. There aren't as many events. And now QUT links with places like RCL, iLab. Griffith University is starting to do much more in the space of entrepreneurship. Yep. Jock Fairweather starts Little Tokyo 2, yep, and really creates what is a fantastic place to go to, a great culture in that flagship place that's a Japanese-style entrepreneurship hub. Yep. And then Fishburners comes to town, Blue Chili comes to town, and Myriad now, for example, brings all of this energy. The Startup Precinct is developed after the capital is developed by Digital Brisbane. And now there's such a buzz of activity, you can't go a week without having more events than you can possibly go to. And so our role is hopefully to successfully link to all those places, activities, know the people, and for QUT students have them, because we don't really just want to live within the QUT entrepreneurship ecosystem, as awesome as it is. Like the list that you've just given off is just massive, isn't it? It is such a long list of different activities happening around the university. But for a university student, you come here for all the opportunities that the world offers, not just QUT. And so there is that to link out to all of those activities outside of here, and there is a good number.
So I'm very interested with the announcement earlier this week around Qantas getting involved with muru-D Live and actually trying to bring a lot of the Silicon Valley type investors and personalities and bring that back to Queensland, bring that back to Australia as part of next year's event. So it's going to be an interesting time in the next year, next couple of years in terms of where we go from here, especially where we've got to in the last few years. So.
I've got a question.
Yep.
For what about yourselves and how you've been developing in terms of linking to the entrepreneurship community in the last few years? How's it changed for you?
So it's a big change for us, because one of the things that we do find is, as Oracle, we are typically looking at the big end of town. I don't say that in a bad sense, but typically the customers are your governments, your big financial services, and the like. However, one of the things that we are seeing in that space is actually looking to learn from other parts of the community. So not necessarily say, okay, let's be a startup, but let's actually take essences of that. There is a bit of a culture change and a bit of a collision in terms of what enterprises are and how they're structured, and they're all about execution, and they may not necessarily be structured to actually look at the commercial and the cash flow models that a startup looks like. Right? So you're always trying to validate your solution, your offering, where in the big end of town, they've already got that. So it's that culture change that we're trying to look at. And that's part of the excitement for me as working for Oracle and working with these guys, is actually bringing that and actually look at it, how does that work effectively? Because if it's not going to be effective and it's not going to produce outcomes for those businesses, then it's just theatre, which is a bit of a common term. When great, put on a t-shirt, great, but it actually doesn't provide much value to the business. So that's why coming to you guys, doing these things like TADHack and being part of that community is important to both educate and also bring in real change within the culture of those organisations to actually do something. So it's great to be here.
Yeah, and I like your role in it. For example, you mentioned the Winter Hackathon.
Yeah.
Glad to see you there for the day. That was really cool. And you were doing the coolest thing there, playing with all the robots.
Well, we got a few of the robots next door, and got a couple of drones that people can start playing with. As part of one of the challenges, challenge number 3, which is more about the My Health record style for the for rural, out there in the rural. There's already a team actually looking at that challenge right now, so that's actually fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
And part of this also, I know we've sort of talked about this, is being connectors.
Yes.
All right, that's important about being community and creating that connection between lots of different people. So
so I think one of the reasons why Queensland is doing so well is that we are really gaining so much momentum in terms of connecting university, industry, businesses, startups, researchers, students, and this is really seeing great results because we all have something beneficial to bring. You know, you've got, you know, at Oracle some great tools, some great knowledge, university creating new knowledge, this pool of students with multiple potential. They want to sink their teeth into problems that matter to them. They want to explore their different intelligences, either on their own or combined. And you know, this opportunity to connect people, to create new enterprises, to solve important problems. And you know, I think we're doing a lot of good in Queensland because everyone is coming together. So connecting is really key.
Well, the great challenge when you come to university, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know where to find things. And even after you're here for 3 years, and even then in the organisation, it's not until those random collisions you meet somebody who's met somebody who refers you to somebody else, and magic happens that all of a sudden these connections were made just because you got out there and met some people. And so it's fantastic in this role to be in the middle of being able to connect different people. And you see it day in, day out, where you'll just be sitting in the office, somebody will ask you about something that you don't actually know anything about. But coincidentally, you've just had a conversation with somebody who's just been there doing that, and sometimes it will happen that you can put them together in that moment over that very topic matter about which you have no idea, but all of a sudden that connection is made between two people who would not have found each other due to those degrees of separation. So it really does bring down those degrees of separation to something close to everybody has that chance to find information they just would not have otherwise.
Yeah, I do like these different spaces, like at the precinct, the Capitol, and even here, where you do have that co-working spaces, and actually that term collision, right? Those random collisions that you find in terms of people, and it is that there's a term. I went to an event at River Sea Labs a few weeks ago where Aaron Birkby actually talked about Startup Catalyst and their tour from Israel.
The one of Israel?
Yeah, the one of Israel. That was fantastic. Yeah. And all about ag tech. And one of the things that I got from that was this hyperconnectivity, hyperconnectivity in terms of people.
Yeah.
Right? So the ability to actually take that and export that idea, and from a random path going for Israel-based company, finding somewhere in the Napa Valley, and then working their way through to somewhere on the east coast of the US, coming to Melbourne into Yarra Water, and then finding themselves back up and having a customer at Queensland Urban Utilities and having a conversation there. That's
what a story.
That's mad, right? Yeah. That's just mad. And that's one of the things I like about this, and actually having that global reach. It's not just about this is just Queensland, this is just Australia. Then this, as a TADHack organisation, which is global and being streamed globally, and actually looking at a global stance, then my responsibility here is to actually promote a lot of the stories that we have here and a lot of people that we have in the community and tell a global story.
Yeah.
So, which is the fantastic thing about being part of the community and being part of Connectors.
And it's really nice. So you can be here this weekend, or you can be anywhere in the world, really. Or next weekend, you've got another chance. So, with thanks to telecommunications, we can all participate in TADHack and tap into other
subject matter is
good job, guys. I like the fact that you can connect with anyone. This is awesome. And, you find out answers to questions from the different developer resource experts. So, this is pretty cool. Lots of great opportunities here this weekend next.
So TADHack itself is not associated to any startup accelerator, it's not associated to any co-working space or whatnot. It is purely a volunteer organisation run by volunteers across the whole world. One of the things that I do pick up is this whole hashtag give first in terms of community angle. Especially from corporates or very much in that startup space where I don't necessarily have something to offer, but I can offer what I can do is my people, my time, and that community. So it's very important.
The personification of that, Peter Lorre will be coming later on in his association of River City Labs. And for my mind, there's no person that gives first more than somebody like him. And it's absolutely awesome. Everybody appreciates it. I believe he'll be here tomorrow.
Well, he was here just before, and he was up on stage doing a bit of a what's a hackathon and get yourself in the mindset. So we had him sitting on the couch.
So he's already giving today and tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
I like his definition of this circular economy that he has going in his life, which is about applying his skills to make money, but also for the benefit of his soul, doing something that he feels important, which is enabling others in the ecosystem. So he's really generous with his time, and all of that's been so important in getting the ecosystem to this stage, whether here in Queensland or replicated elsewhere. So it's about people giving first, giving back. We've all got something to give, and it's just fantastic because we've all got different capabilities, and when you bring them together, as you said, magic happens with these collisions. So
So it's like not to put this as a Peter show, but the stuff that he's been doing here, River Sea Labs, even with Oracle actually helping out with the workshops that we've been running. down at muru-D does all that. Techstars down there, and also Startup Catalyst as one of those volunteers.
He's the mission lead, is he not?
Part of the mission. Oh, I got that sticker up there.
Yep.
So it is something that is worthwhile doing. We do have day jobs, right? So in a commercial sense, from Oracle, there is a commercial reality.
Yep.
However, like there's families that you need to feed, food to put on the table. So. However, that doesn't stop you from giving, because there are models where you can see there's value there. It may not necessarily be from day one, but there's value there in terms of the relationships, the connectivity that you have, and the customers that you bring to different people. There is a commercial reality that you can apply to that.
Yeah, I think so, both as an organisation and as an individual. So I would say that corporates working with the startups, there's a symbiotic relationship that's possible, because the startups can see and shape and pursue opportunities that may not be on the radar for the corporate, or it just may not be the right kind of opportunity at this stage.
Yeah.
And then, the startup can obviously tap into resources of the corporate. So that's great. And then also from an individual's perspective, really encourage that you get involved, because not only is giving, a great thing to do, paying it forward, but you'll find that you learn so much. You're building your human capital, your social capital, incidentally. So pretty much every hackathon you go to, you make great friends, you learn so much more, and outside your particular domain area. And you get better at innovating. You get better at making things that are wanted materialize more efficiently as well. So I think it's just great training. So certainly any student that comes along to these things, whether they win or just take part, they're winning, I think. And giving in this community is so rewarding.
I do find even just attending these so I've been, in reality, this is my first job.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So graduated from QUT.
Such is love.
This is my first job.
You studied. You're a tech person.
Yeah, I did IT, comp science here, and electronics engineering. So a double degree.
Okay, wow.
So it was pretty full on.
Yeah.
There was only 30 odd people in my course that came through.
Okay.
However, just going through there, I've been able to weave my path. But coming to this is actually very invigorating in terms of it's not just the day on, day out. I was talking to you last night about the RFP that I'm doing at the moment. But the energy and the community and just connecting people with great ideas, there are things that you can do that are applicable to different businesses in just shaping their business internally or externally as part of the services they provide. Like what Peter was saying, these startup weekends, they are not just for shits and giggles. Yep. They are for real commercial value, and there needs to be viability around these businesses. Otherwise, they can't be sustained.
Yeah. So, and pretty much something to encourage anywhere in the world is that people don't stop after this weekend.
Yes.
So, you go to a hackathon, blood, sweat, tears, making something materialize. If you're in Brisbane, around here, come to the Foundry, bring that team and keep working on it. If you've got something that's got potential, even if it's something that you pursue on the side, if you become this sort of hybrid, doing your study or your work and then working on this other thing, because this is an opportunity to create new value, and perhaps, as you've done with your career, it's not necessarily a linear path, but you can branch out, start a business, sell some IP, develop something for a corporate, and there are so many opportunities. So it's not just for shits and giggles, although there'll probably be plenty of that as well.
You mentioned Code Network before, and paying for being connected or being involved. I reckon Jamin is a good example of that. So you'll be speaking to Jamin tomorrow, I understand.
So
QT, Code Network
he should be in LAX, coming back from Hacking the North. Over there, one of the largest hackathons in Canada. Yeah. So both him, Kendrick, and I think Mitchell's over there as well.
Sweet.
So it's exactly that. As one gets involved and a little bit more involved, a little bit more connected, plays around a little bit more, it just grows and grows. Where is he now? Coming back from Canada, from this awesome hackathon that I think they would have been enabled to go and do without having to pay their way. I think would have been awesome. And I say that maybe they've just had to spend a whole lot of their own earnings to get there, but I suspect that they've been feted because of how involved they are and all the skills that they've acquired from doing all of this.
Yeah. Jason was just saying before that, from winning TADHack last year, he managed to buy a motorbike, and he's still here at QUT studying. So he's like, making all this money on the side from hackathons.
Exactly.
Mechatronics and computer science double degree, I think.
What I love is some of the successes for these guys. First year at university, second year at university, and before you come to uni, and your greatest concern was where you're going to get your textbook, and you might meet a few people. And now it's all these successes outside in the commercial world already before you've even finished university. And that's an awesome outcome.
So it's brilliant. So Angela, Graham, thanks for having you here.
Thank
we'll
you.
do the shake.
Yeah,
Well
it's
done,
awesome. Thanks for everything as well. This person has put in a huge amount of effort paying it forward to make today and tomorrow an awesome time.
Well done. This is great to see what you've created. It's excellent.
Cool.
Excellent.
We'll see you in the next couple of days. Cheers.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The big red screen.
Time is up.
Wow, that went quick.
Too easy.